Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We are live. This is Real Talk with Mary Grace. You're on Mary Grace Media. It is Thursday, the 8th of July, 2021. And I don't know if anybody's here yet. Okay, it looks like Facebook is logging in, and now we're on YouTube. Great. That's perfect. All right. So before I forget, as you're coming in, make sure you share this. If you're on Facebook, hit the thumbs up and then hit the red button to subscribe and turn on the bell so that you don't miss any future episodes. And then if you're on, I think I said Facebook, I mean YouTube. And then if you're on Facebook, please share this into groups and then also tag your friends and make sure you comment and hit the hearts and all those things that you do live. And then also, please, when you come back to watch replays, make sure you say hello and give us a comment and let us know that you have been here to watch the show. Especially on YouTube, that seems to get it up moving into the feed. So that's pretty great. And somebody's saying hi to Barley. Barley says hello. Guys, I'm kind of sad about Barley because I got him his own little perch so that he could sit in on the show, and he doesn't want to do it. I think he's camera shy. I don't know. I mean, he'll sit on his perch right there. He won't sit on the perch that is that I put next to the set. Don't know why. He's looking at me right now. He knows we're talking about him. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. But here we are. We'll just keep talking. If he decides to come on set, we'll say hello to him. Otherwise, we'll just keep going. But I hope everybody is having a good week, and I hope everybody is just enjoying freedom in America. Let me see. Let me give you an update. When I last signed off, I was concerned that I might not make it today because we had a date with Destiny at the DMV. We made it. We survived, and everything worked out. I had to take my dad. His license expired during COVID. Thank you, Delia, for taking notes. His license expired during COVID, and like, what else? What else could happen during COVID, right? And so I went prepared. I had everything you would need to get his license reinstated. I had his what do you call it? Social security card, proof of residence. I had like 3 things to prove residency. I had his DD 214 from the military. I had the birth certificate. I had him, of course, with me. And what else did we have? We had it all. We had everything. So it went along great. And we got a very kind person who even thanked my dad for serving in the military. It couldn't have gone better. Um, and so we're very happy about that. And yay, thank you to everybody who prayed. We prayed up before we went. And so yeah, so we're happy. I'm happy. And thanks to my mom for having all of her ducks in a row over the last 20 years, because when I went to look for the birth certificate and all those things, it was all right there in the safe. Yay. Thanks, Mom. So amazing. Awesome. Okay. Now, what else? Let's see. Oh, there's Marissa. Hello, Marissa. Um, we Oh, here's something I found out about the real ID too. So I went ahead and did the real ID for him because he doesn't have he doesn't have a passport, but I have a passport, and I asked about that. I just wanted to clarify if I need a real ID to get on a plane in America. And you guys know what real ID is? Um, if I needed a real ID. And she said, "Well, no, but most people don't want to use their passport to travel in the US because it's expensive." I don't know. What do you think? I have a passport card. I use it all the time. And then I also have um I also have the regular passport, and then I have the, what do you call it, the TSA pre-check thing. So I think I'm good. My point is that if you have a passport that's current, you don't need a real ID. That's my point. Millie just made a comment. She said, buy a no trespassing sign. Be sure to get it. No soliciting signs won't work with the Jabberwocky Gestapo. Oh, interesting. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Uh, Danielle, you don't need a passport to go from state to state. What I'm saying is that starting in 2023, they're requiring the real ID to fly within the US and to Canada and Mexico. And my question was, can't I just use my passport to get on a plane to fly from here to California? And they said, yes, you're not required to do that. You can use it in place of the real ID. That's my point. Yeah, let me just tell you something about the Jabberwocky that I heard yesterday. It was incredibly disturbing, something that somebody told me. First of all, let me just read you what Major Patriot said about what Faker 46's administration is doing. I think this is really good. Let me see if my pictures are syncing. Where is it? Come on. Here it goes. The Faker 46 failed vaccine target goal. Target goal so bad. He's sending out stormtroopers with syringes to every American door. It's true. It's crazy, right? We're not opening that door. And yeah, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And but listen to what happened to an elderly person that I know. She told me this. She told me this yesterday. This is infuriating. Are we losing our feed here? I just got a message. I think it's okay. All right. Are you guys still there? Everything just bleeped on the screen. Are you there? I hope so. Now, let me keep going. Now, okay. That was weird. Everything just went I'm back. It's funny when I said stormtroopers, everything just went zoop. Here we are. All right. Now, this is what I said. So, if you have elderly friends or family, take note of this and be vigilant, because here's what they're doing. This makes me mad. She said she was talking about the Jabberwocky, and she said that that she resisted, like she knows what's what, and her husband is 88 years old. Her kids live in the same town. She said she held out in spite of the fact that other people in her family got it. But then she went to the doctor. And I didn't get this doctor's name, but oh my goodness, if I had his name, I would put him on blast. This is what he said to her. She finally caved and got the Jabberwocky because this is the manipulation that this doctor did. He said to her, well, listen, you don't know what the future holds, and you don't know if your husband ends up in the hospital for any reason, you wouldn't be able to go and see him if you didn't have the Jabberwocky. They wouldn't let you in to see him. So better safe than sorry. I kid you not. That was the scare tactic that this doctor used. That this doctor used on this woman to get her to consent to take it. That's not informed consent. That is manipulation and fear tactics. this kind of thing, I mean, yeah. When it comes to the elderly and the children, just don't get my dander up. This is infuriating. Um, yeah. Watch your family. Don't let your elderly relatives, parents go to these appointments without you. Absolutely. Whatever you need to do, make sure that you're with them. I mean, um, I have a, I have an appointment, for him for with the VA, and I'm seriously considering if they don't allow me in with him, then we're leaving. We're not going to do it because this just, I can't even. I can't. I mean, if that were my mom and that doctor did that, I just I don't even have words. I don't even have words. Yeah, we need to advocate for the elderly, you guys. Um, and think about okay. So, um, we need to advocate for the elderly. We have to make sure that they are not getting away with this crap. This is such nonsense. And I mean, I don't lose it often, right? You guys, I'm pretty even keeled, but when I hear things like this, it makes me want to throat punch somebody. Um, just anyway, that's what I have to say about that. Okay. Now, what did Delia say? You must stay with your dad. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, if I can't stay with him, there's no appointment. Um, yeah, Sue says, I know too many people who've taken it because they can't see elderly family in homes or assisted care. Yeah. Do you remember, Todd said that was happening because his mom is in assisted living. And Minnie, I know that you would help me. I know you would. Uh, it's a ride or die, right? And Minnie, your legs are so long, you could just do a roundhouse kick. That would be so awesome. Now, um, so what was I saying? I totally lost track. Uh, oh my gosh, what was I saying? Oh, that Todd said that my wingman Todd, he said that they were saying that all of the family had to get the jab to see his mom. And he finally went into the place, and he just stood there and he said, "So you're telling me that I'll never see my mother again if I don't get the jab?" And they actually relented and let him in. But I mean, this is nonsense, you guys. Make sure you contact America's Frontline Doctors because there is recourse here. I mean, if I were closer to this family, like if this happened to my family and that doctor coerced my mother into getting that and lying to her and saying that she wouldn't be able to see her husband, I mean, this is a hypothetical. If he ever ended up in the hospital. And the thing about it is, he's saying that based on when, like 5 years from now? How does he know? How does he know that in 5 years from now she wouldn't be able to go see him in the hospital? This is what makes me so mad. They're taking control over things that are based on hypotheticals. I mean, the woman at the DMV today had on the face diaper, and the face diaper, and I asked her, I said, my dad is hearing impaired. It would be helpful if you could take that off so that he could read your lips. and she was behind a plexiglass. I mean, thank God for plexiglass. They saved the whole world from the plague, right? And so she said, "Oh, I'll take it off." I asked her to pull it down. She said, "Oh, I'll take it off. I just keep it on because of the variants. But I already have the thing." I was like, seriously? What are you gonna do? You're just gonna live the rest of your life wearing a face diaper and getting poison jabbed into your body because somebody in the idiot box keeps telling you that there's another dangerous variant coming around? I mean, have people lost their minds? This is insane. Why we never did this before. Um, we never did this before. We never reacted this way. They tried to do it with the swine flu and all that nonsense, but they didn't get this far. And I mean, it's insanity. And so it's just crazy. And the thing is, um, if people knew, if people knew the number of things that they don't have to do, then we would none of this would have ever happened. Most people think that they have to do things, that they have to wear the face diaper, that they have to stand 6 feet apart, that they have to do this. You don't have to do this. And you know what? If you go to the DMV and they have single chairs spaced 20 feet apart, guess what? You can move the chairs so you can sit next to your family members because it's total nonsense. This is insane. People need to understand there are very few things that you have to do in life. Very few things. And the government, our constitution was created and designed to prevent the government to allow them to do just the extent of which we allow them to do. It's not the other way around. We don't consent to be governed, to be told what we're allowed to do. We tell them what they're allowed to do. Does that make sense? It has to be the other way around. People have to understand this. You were not put on this earth to be told what to do by people that got elected when people checked off a box and said this person is going to represent me based on my consent. That's what that means. Just because they got more votes from the machines or the tally or whatever it was does not mean that they have the authority and the right to lord it over you and tell you what you're allowed and what you're not allowed to do. That's not how this works. I feel like there's a mic drop there somewhere. Guys, we didn't come this far to let this happen to our country. You have to fight. You have to fight. You have to understand what your rights are. You have to understand that your rights are given to you by God, not by government. Government gives you government government is given the ability to do what they do by you and by me. If we don't consent, they don't do it. They're not allowed. That's how it works. Okay, now I gotta take a breath. All right. I finished Mike Lindell's book. I finished the book, and I got to tell you, it's really good. I'm not going to spoil it. Everybody needs to read this book because if you've been wondering about this whole prophetic thing, about whether God speaks through people and to people in modern day, in the modern world, um what's happening. Um, all right, it looks like we're having connectivity issues. If you're having trouble listening on one of the platforms, please go to the other. I'm on YouTube, Mary Grace Media. I'm on Facebook, Mary Grace Media. I am on uh yeah, I don't know what's going on. Uh I was logged out. I know, I know. Okay. All right, I'm back. I'm on Cloud Hub channel 111 and I am on Twitter. That is Real Mary Grace 1. That's where I am. Now, let me just talk about something for a minute. So, I think if you read his book and you think about the way that God has destined people for um, life-changing, world-changing destiny, it's amazing. It's amazing what you'll see in this book. But here, I want to read you something because do you know how back in I don't know when did I talk about this? I talked about I'm not on D Live. Okay, I talked about how Mike Lindell he does something similar to what Real 45 does. He sort of plays the naive sort of huckster act really well. Have you noticed that? The way he talks, the way that he presents himself. Uh, this is something that Real 45 perfected. He became the Don. Okay. Um, he was the Don. He was like Mr. Builder, construction, roughneck from Queens, that kind of thing, right? He's like the blue collar billionaire. Uh, Mike Lindell, Mike Lindell. His book is called "What Are the Odds from Crackhead to CEO." Get it from his website, mypillow.com. Don't give the big tech overlords any money. Yeah, bumpkin is a good word. Bumpkin is a good word. It's like he's just kind of a goober. And and you know how sometimes Real 45 he acts like he doesn't understand stuff. Sometimes he'll say things like, "Well, they say that such and such works on the plague. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but they say this works." You understand that's an act. You understand that he is highly intelligent, that he has a very, very high IQ. Well, here's the thing about Mike Lindell. Same thing. He has an unbelievably high IQ, and that is something that doesn't necessarily come across. And if you are the hyper partisan leftist media and you see somebody like him coming across the screen, you actually think think you're the smartest person in the room, especially if you're a millennial and you're also working for the hyper partisan leftist media. You look at somebody like him and you think, oh, he is an idiot. I don't even give him the time of day because I'm smarter than everybody else. And even though I put my pants on one leg at a time, I'm superior. And that's what they think. And FYI, a lot of people who work in media, especially the faces of media, the Kens and the Barbies of the media, they they're not very smart. I mean, there's a lot of loose things between the ears. They're not that smart. They're just a pretty face on TV reading a teleprompter. You know that, right? And and so these people, because of where they live, because they're the coastal elites and they're in the hyperpartisan media, they think that they know everything, and they see somebody like him who talks like a regular guy and who gets up there on TV, and I'm talking about Mike Lindell now. He gets up on TV and he says things like, "Gee, this is happening," and "Golly, it looks like they manipulated the numbers." And if they took even 5 minutes to research his background and to understand his bio, maybe they should read his book. He should send his book to all the people in the media. If they took 5 minutes to read it, they would understand that they're being played because he is um he's incredibly smart. And yeah, he's really what he's doing, and God is using him. And if you go back and read his book, you'll understand, and you'll see that this is a technique that he's actually developed over time. And sort of like the, crazy like a fox. Okay. But let me read this. I want to read you this from the Bible. All right, this is from, I'm going to read the Bible to you. 1 Corinthians 1. And I think this may be this may resonate with you. Okay. um for the wisdom for the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved it is the power of God. Um, and then God says, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the understanding of those who have understanding I will confound. Where is the wise person? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through its wisdom did not come to know God, God was pleased through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. And I want, I understand this is the context of this is that he's talking about the gospel. He's talking about sending Jesus to save humanity. And the thing is, um, who was the least likely to be the savior? Right? Nothing good comes out of Nazareth. That's what they said. So nobody was looking. Nobody saw it coming. And we see this over and over and over again throughout Scripture, throughout the canon of Scripture, from the Old Testament to the New. The think about the people that God chose. Think about the people that He called, that He had a destiny, really, to save humanity. And go all the way back, and think about David when the prophet went at the prophet Samuel went to the home of Jesse, David's father. He was there to choose at God's direction the next king of Israel. And he looked at all of the sons, and he kept thinking, okay, this one surely is the Lord's anointed. And he was looking at the outward appearance of these young men who were strapping and big and all that. And then every time he chose, God would say, no, that's not it. And so then he said to Jesse, do you have any more sons? And then you might know this story, but Jesse said, well, I have one more. He's out in the field. He's a shepherd. That's my youngest. And if you know anything about that culture, the last thing that you would do would be to pick the youngest son to lead anything. I mean, it was the youngest son. They got nothing. They had no birthright. If you know the story of Jacob and Esau, right? Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup. He was the older, and he should have inherited everything. But the other thing is, so the story of David is remarkable in that they didn't even call David into the house. When he said, bring your sons before me, they didn't even think of him. It's like he didn't exist. He was like a non-person. I mean, talk about picking the foolish things of the world. It's not just that, it's not like he was standing in the room with all the sons. They didn't even count him as a son. He was out in the field. He was an afterthought. Oh yeah, go get David. That was God's plan for redemption of all of humanity. And Jesus was born out of the lineage of the house of David. Think about that. Think about it. I mean, he was a shepherd boy who was completely forgotten when the prophet came and said, go get your sons. Think about that. And fast forward, look at the story of Gideon. Gideon was hiding in a wine press. He was pretty much a coward. He wasn't doing really what we would consider leadership. And he was just trying to survive. And he was I'm pretty sure that Gideon would have, I'm pretty sure Gideon would have just completely, like, he would have worn the face diaper, he would have gotten the jab, he would have done it all. He would have been like, "I don't wanna make waves. I just wanna survive." That was him. And God chose him to liberate his people. Think about that. And so I was thinking about this, and I took a little 24-hour hiatus, and and I was just listening to the Lord, and God just reminded me of that. He said, I choose the least likely to lead. And and so you look at where we are now, and I've said this before. I've said the My Pillow guy is going to save the republic. And I kind of was joking. I'm not joking. And when you read his book and you see the things that happened in his life, and you see, really, he shouldn't actually he shouldn't actually be alive. I mean, he survived so many things. God's hand is on him in such a powerful way, even from the time of his birth. And one of the things that I really want people to hear today and to understand is that if you look at the first, if you look at the first, 55 years of Mike Lindell's life, and you look at all that he did or didn't do, or all the messes that he made. I mean, this is a person, this is like the Tasmanian devil. His life, I can't even tell you how many messes people probably had to clean up after him. I mean, he was wide open. He was a complete and hot mess. When you think of hot mess, Mike Lindell, that's the definition of a hot mess. And yet, God, God had his hand on this man from the time from before he was born. And that's what Psalm 139 says, that you knew me, you knit me together in my mother's womb. You knew me before I was born. And and what we're looking at right now at this time in history, this is one person, this is one example, but this is just such a profound example of how God has his hand on a person, and how he never stops pursuing us. And I was talking about this the other day. I was saying that one of the reasons, this was based on something that Donna Rigney was saying on Elijah streams, but that one of the reasons that we're seeing the delay is that God's mercy, the long arm of God's mercy continues to be stretched out. And I want you to think about something. I want you to think about, if God had withdrawn his hand of mercy, if God had withdrawn his hand of mercy from Mike Lindell and walked away a year before uh, Mike Lindell said yes to God, what would we be dealing with right now? Who would be funding and financing, and uh, what numbers guy who really has like a brain of like a savant when it comes to numbers? Who would have stepped in to fill that place? Would there be someone? I don't know. But God kept pursuing him. And if you read his book before any of this happened, uh, I think those of you who read it before this happened, go back and read, and I'm talking about all of the election nonsense and the theft and the coup. Go back and read it again with eyes to understand where we are now and what is happening and how Mike Lindell is being used at this time in history. Um, it's just remarkable. It's amazing. It will grow your faith. It will increase your faith in a way that I think very few things lately have. Um, and so I want you to be encouraged, because God sees the end from the beginning. God knows, he has his hand on people. He has his hand on people, and he has a destiny on Mike Lindell's life. He has a destiny on your life. He has a purpose and a plan for you. Maybe you're watching today. Maybe somebody sent you this and you're wondering, is there any hope for me? I've messed up so many times. I'm a hot mess. I have left a wake of destruction. I have done things that have hurt people. Whatever it is. First of all, read that book, and second of all, understand that you are being called by God, that God is pursuing you for such a time as this. And understand that that it's not too late, that his mercies are new every morning, and that you can call on his name and walk with him and ask for salvation in Jesus. It's free. It's a free gift. The free gift of God is salvation through Jesus. And that is what Mike Lindell found, because God never stopped pursuing him. And he put other people in his life along the way. And there were just some amazing, uncanny situations where you're thinking, how in the world did that happen? And so go read the book. It's just it's going to build your faith so much. Now, here's one thing too that came out in the book. I think that this is it's worth noting, and this is something that I've seen. God gives people an assignment. He has an assignment on people's lives, and uh, one of the things that came forth is that um, Mike was told by someone very close to him, listen, you have an assignment on your life, and if you don't step forward and take it, God is going to remove the favor, and he's going to give it to somebody else. He's going to give that assignment to somebody else because he needs this done. And that's important. That's key, because there people, God has a destiny on your life. He has things for you to do. He has a calling for you. And there are times when God has an assignment for people, and for whatever reason they just say no. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's not meaning that they're losing salvation, but it means that the assignment that he has for them is going to be given to someone else because of the timing, because of the situation that we're in. And I believe that there are a lot of people right now in that situation. And I think that it's important to have that mindset, to think, okay, what is it that God is calling me to do? Um, that what is it that God is calling me to do that I am avoiding saying yes to? And there could be a lot of things. So that's just something to think about. Have that conversation with God. And because God has a timeline and an agenda, and sometimes there's things that just have to be done, and he's going to pass the torch on to somebody else. And one time I was having this conversation with God, and um he said you know what I'm asking of you is not complicated, but he said most people just aren't willing to participate. That's what he said. And that's why when Real 45 says it's the outsiders who change the world, that's what he's talking about. It's the people who are willing to come forward and to say, "Yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this risk." And believe me, he took a huge risk when he came out and endorsed Real 45. The media dropped him like a hot potato. Nobody would interview him. Nobody wanted to touch him. He was anathema. I mean, he was like Poison. You know that game Poison, where it's like um, there's a ball, and people throw the ball, and if it hits you, it's like poison. He was poison. Nobody wanted to be around him, and so there's there's grace. There's grace for everybody, but you know people have to ask for it, and they have to receive it. And God is a God. He gives us free will. He gives us free will. So he's not going to force anybody to do anything against their will. That's why Mike Lindell had to say yes. He had to pick up the call and take the mantle and do the things that God was calling him to do. and he had to take a step further and really be willing to turn his life around, and there was a lot of risk involved. It's a fantastic story. So that's really that's the meat of what I wanted to say today, because this is such an amazing time to be alive. It's such an amazing time to be alive, because we are seeing a great awakening at a level that we really haven't seen in generations. And God, the long arm of God's mercy has been extended, and he is pursuing. He's pursuing you. He's pursuing your family members. He's pursuing your coworkers. He's pursuing your friends. He is extending his hand of mercy. One of the things that we're seeing, though, is that it's not going to be forever, because there are assignments on your life. There's a calling and a destiny on your life. There are things that God has for you to do, and if you're not willing to participate, that mantle is going to be passed to somebody else. Um, so that's just something to think about. And that's not to say that he's not, that salvation isn't available to you, but there's so much more that he has for you when you're walking in that. Okay. um let's see, I just want to look at the chat for a minute. All right. So is everybody resonating with me on this? I think it's important to understand this, because we're seeing so much of this, and we're going to see in the coming weeks, months, years, we're going to see more and more ordinary people, the least likely people, that are stepping into these places, who are stepping into their calling. And that is by design, because here's the thing. If you think about it, think about the whole political spectrum. How come how come how did we get to the place where only politicians got elected to do politicking? I mean, a politician is literally somebody who produces nothing. They go, they sit around, they pontificate, they say things that they know are going to tickle people's ears. They fundraise for the next election. They're literally just like professional fundraisers. And so when Real 45 was running, one of the things they said is, oh well, he doesn't have any experience. And all of us are going, yay, that's awesome. We don't want him to have experience as a politician. We don't want him to have a career as a politician. There should be no such thing as a career politician. It's literally not a job. It's not even it. They're like, being a career politician is like being a career mooch, a career mooch. That's it. Like, you're literally living off of the hard work and the blood, sweat, and tears of humanity, and you're part of the biggest country club on the planet if you get sent to Washington and you're there for more than like 6 years or 12 years or whatever. I mean, look at Mitch McConnell. What has he accomplished? What has he produced? Yes, he got judges confirmed, but that was for his legacy. I mean, think about it. What have these people done? They don't do anything. And then have they created any jobs? Half of them are lawyers. And you look at somebody like real Donald Trump. I mean, he's one of the only people that I know of that's gone to Washington who's ever actually signed the front of a check and created jobs, and understands how a building gets built, understands how payroll works, how payroll taxes work, how human resources works, how building materials work, all of that. He actually has real life experience. And if you're in Congress, right, all you do is get the minute you get elected, you're running for reelection again. It's crazy. It's just insane. And these people, half the time, they don't even show up to the floor for votes, and they don't even write the bills that they sponsor and vote on. They don't. Those bills are written by lobbyists on K Street, and half the time those bills are written years in advance, and they're pushed by these big corporations. One of which starts with PHARMA. The other one is Agriculture, those massive corporations are the ones, and the people behind them, the lobbyists behind them, which are from other countries like China, those are the ones who are writing those bills and pushing them out. And they're so full of pork. I mean, I could just go on and on. But the whole point is that, going back to what I was saying, God chooses the foolish of the world to confound the wise. He's choosing the people that don't have the experience being politicians. We're done with those. We're done with politicians. We don't want those people doing anything. We don't consent. We no longer consent to have those people up there sitting around sucking off the teat of the American hard work and blood, sweat, and tears. That's it. Our labor is not done for you to get rich and fat and lazy. I think this is like a mic drop episode. I mean, think about it. When lest you think that I am being dramatic, just go and think about the picture of Nancy with her Sub-Zero freezer, double freezer, during the lockdowns, showing everybody her $14 a pint ice cream with a silly grin on her face. They're not for you. These people, they don't care about you. They don't. They hate you. They despise you. There's no two ways around it. They really they have disdain for you. They have such disdain for you. You're just a paycheck to them. You're just a paycheck, a perpetual gym membership, and a pension, and in some cases, Secret Service detail for life. That's it. That's it. That's all you are to them. Yeah. So, in other news, it turns out, I don't know if you saw this. I don't know if you saw that. It turns out that the FBI discovered that that somebody, one of the insurrectionists, had a Lego model of the Capitol. Did you see that? And so this is from this day forward, it will be known as the Lego insurrection. Here's Christopher Wray finally proving his worth. He finally got to the bottom of the whole insurrection. There he is. The evidence is right there. They finally figured it out. And here's another good one. This is they're really going to crack the case now. I mean, that's, yeah. It's also obvious. How come we didn't see this before? I think the FBI has redeemed themselves now. I take back everything I said about the FBI, every disparaging comment about the FBI. I mean, they're totally on top of it now. But here's the conundrum now, because for months they've been telling us that the entire thing, that the entire insurrection was sparked by the mere words of Real 45, telling people to march peacefully down to the Capitol. Remember that? The whole thing was blamed on that he incited the riot. Little did we know that it was actually the Lego guys. It was all incited by somebody with a Lego set. So Real 45 is off the hook. We can blame it all on Legos. It's the Lego insurrection. End of story. That's it. Yeah, and they're probably going to find a Lego garage door pull somewhere in that investigation, because I'm sure there's a Lego set out there somewhere with a garage door pull included. Problem solved. Case closed. That's it. Now we know how it all started. Yeah, it's done. Done. They can all go home. We can disband the FBI now. They've done their job. Their work is done. Lego. Lego. Lego, guys. You know what Legos are, right? Legos. Okay. Let me just check my notes here. I think, let me just see what I've got here. Okay, so you guys know that Real 45 is doing a class action lawsuit against the who Suckabuck and Jack Dorsey, the terrorist. He really looks like Taliban, doesn't he? I have to say that. I think the FBI's punishment, this is a comment on YouTube. I think the FBI's punishment should be picking up all the Legos of the world by being barefoot. I'll do you one better. The FBI's punishment should be that their floor should be scattered with Legos, and they should never be allowed to wear shoes again, or turn on lights when they have to go to the bathroom at night. That's pretty much all we need to do. That's it. Just scatter Legos around the floor. No lights, no shoes. Go. Got to go to the bathroom? Go. So Scott is saying, are you recommending we join the lawsuits? I can't give legal advice. I know that a lot of people are doing that. There was a hint that people who lost their Twitter accounts could actually get them restored. That's me. Yeah, 37,000 followers on Twitter. Just poof, gone, taken down. And then, the same thing happened. I don't know if this is going to apply to YouTube. I don't know what's happening with YouTube, but Praying Medic, his YouTube account was taken down. Ann Vandersteel has had, I don't know how many YouTube accounts taken down. She's lost count. And, she would start a YouTube account, and then she would start an account, and then get up to 12. There's like a magic number, maybe 12 or 25,000, and then poof, gone. Violation of terms. Delia's saying if you have proof, you can join the suit. I have proof. They wrote me a letter and said my account was banned, and then I wrote to them to try to get it reinstated. They didn't even have the courtesy to respond. Nothing. No response, no reply. Just, yeah. So I think that I might join the lawsuit. It is going to be interesting. Scott McKay's on account number 18. I believe it. Yeah. Somebody said they fought Twitter through the Better Business Bureau. That's interesting. How did that work out? I hadn't thought about that. I know Praying Medic did say that he sent his story in. Okay, so Let me see. You guys deserve this. Thank you. I was permanently suspended for calling Alyssa Milano a bimbo. How was that not accurate? It didn't work. Well, you can't hurt to try, right? Oh, one of the comments that that Millie made earlier. This is really important, and this is something that Patrick Byrne has pointed out. That is this: make sure that you make sure that no matter what happens, that you remain calm, that you don't resort to violence, because one of the things that they want to invoke the patriots to violence, because their narrative, of course, is that the Lego insurrection was led by violent extremists, and they would like nothing better. They would like nothing better than to invoke a response. This is what they did in the rallies in 2015 and 2016. Nothing has changed. They want to invoke that response because they have pushed the narrative that we are violent, that his supporters are violent, that that he has that he has created this culture of violent extremism using Legos, and so it's really important that you show restraint, that you don't that you don't fall for it. Do not fall into their trap, whether it's, like physical violence, whether it's even verbal, whether it's mentioning what types of hardware you might have in your home, or what kind of brass you may have invested in, or things like that. Like things like that. Just be extremely restrained. All right. I'm glad somebody's getting my humor here. Because I'm just relishing the irony of this whole narrative. Yeah. But that's the whole narrative that they are pushing, is that Real 45 is the gang leader. I mean, you know, you'd think he was like Jesse James or something, and then there were all his posse. That's the image they have in their heads, that all the flyover conservatives and all the people in flyover Millie. From now on, when it comes to the mention of any hardware that we might use against the enemy, it's all Legos. We're just going with Legos from now on. I just pulled out my Legos and I said, I dare you, get off my lawn. All right. Scott thought I was serious. Here's the thing. The thing about the Lego story is real. They really did. The FBI found somebody that had a scale model, I guess, a Lego model of the Capitol, and so now this whole story, it's. I mean, I for one am relieved. That they found this, because now they finally got to the bottom of it, and they figured out what was behind it all along. It was all started by Legos. They used Lego comms, they used Lego code words, they used Legos to plan and execute this whole thing, the Lego insurrection. And Millie, let's see. Make my day. I've got my Legos. Yeah. Locked and loaded with my Legos. I've got Legos and I'm not afraid to use them. See how fun this is? Yeah, it's great. Yeah. I mean, some of you might even carry Legos concealed in your pocketbook. I don't know. Or maybe in your boot, maybe in your waistband. Um, yeah. My range is having a sale on Legos this week, actually. Uh, you can't make this up. Next, it's going to be the Teletubby terrorist. Oh, good Lord, Delia. Delia, here's Delia making Lego cookies in 2013. You better get them off your Facebook. That's right, Delia. They're coming for you. The Lego insurrectionists. I never leave my house without my Legos. Do you need a concealed carry for Legos? Probably. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're gonna have to have a trigger lock on those Legos, ma'am. Um, can't bring them on a plane. Minnie, this is the end for you. Turn in your Legos. Okay. Uh, the whole cast of Toy Story. Yeah. So, I mean, we could just go. It never ends. It never ends. The FBI was asking for this. They have become their own meme. Um, that's it. The FBI has memed themselves into oblivion. Wouldn't it be fun if we just like what if we just oh Delia's going to eat the evidence. Hers are made of sugar. What if we just sent Legos to Christopher Wray? What if everybody I don't know, would that be like an act of terror? We could just scatter Legos outside the FBI. Oh wait, it's closed. I mean, you can't make this up. Seriously, guys. I mean, I, I don't know. I'm speechless today. In between the times of talking, I'm speechless. I got no words for this. I got no words. Okay. Let's see. What day is it? It's the 8th of July. Oh, let me tell you what's coming up. So Monday, I will be doing a show. Monday of next week, and then either Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm leaving to go to Anaheim. I'm going on the 15th. I'm going to be in Anaheim for the Reawaken America tour. Clay Clark's tour. So I'll be out in Anaheim, and so I will miss some shows. I won't be broadcasting while I'm traveling, and I'll let you know my schedule. But I will be on live on Monday. So make sure that you come back on Monday, and make sure that you, let's see, put it in your calendar, 5:30 Eastern, right here on this channel. And let's see, let me look at your will I come to San Antonio in November? I thought I had to read that again because I thought you meant South Africa. I'm like, are you going to South Africa? Should I come? Um, Clay Clark on Telegram. No, Clay Clark is on Rumble, and he's on his website, thrivetime.com, thrivetimeshow.com. Superfoods, I can't forget. Um, we're changing the world with superfoods. I wonder if they have superfood Legos. Anyway, I digress. Listen, some of you guys have written to me. You've gotten your promo code for superfoods. Don't forget to do that. It's over $100 off of your 30-day transformation. If you are looking to lose weight, drop inflammation, get better sleep, have clearer mind, get rid of some brain fog, this is it. It's superfoods, organic, non-GMO, delivered right to your door. Um, um, all of that. So write to me, info@marygracemedia.com, and get a promo code so that you can save over $100 off of your reset. The let's see. I'm just looking at your comments here. info@marygracemedia.com. Oh, the other thing I was going to say, I haven't mentioned this in so long. If you want to support the show, if you can do that when you buy superfoods, it actually supports the show. But you can also go to marygracemedia.com and click on support. And there's a button there where you can do like a one-time donation. You can do a monthly thing. I don't charge for my content. And so if you want to partner with me in that way, you can. Let's see. Millie says, if you were going to South Africa, if I were going to South Africa, it wouldn't be without you, Goofy. um, okay. So let's see. Will I be flying to California? Yes. I couldn't swing driving all the way to California. I mean, I seriously considered it. I just don't have the time. And then that's a lot of time that I would be leaving my dad here in Barley because it's like a 3-day drive each way. And everybody else is driving. Anne is driving because the TSA has targeted her so badly. But I'm flying. But I'm flying through Dallas because I figured if I have a layover in the South, I have a fighting chance of somebody being nice to me. Not to say that the people in the North aren't nice, but the culture, like the blue states, it's hard. It's hard. And I got a mask. I got a face diaper that is I got a face diaper that is it's gauze. It's breathable. It's completely breathable, but you can't tell. You can't even tell. It's like see-through because it's dark blue and I can breathe through it. Okay. So I'm pretty excited about that because if you have to do that, if you have to, then at least breathe your way through. It's just it's so stupid. It's just stupid. Um, I know, Millie, I know you have that. That's where I got the idea. Yeah. And it's made in USA. I could have made my own probably. I just, but now I'm supporting a USA business. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way I could wear the other one. I can't. I'm not doing it. And then I've already planned out my snacks because I heard that if you're eating snacks and drinking, then it's easy to prolong the process of keeping it off your face. You know what? One of the best things is that you can nibble on extremely slowly is macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts. And so that's one of my snacks. So I'm strategically going to have them in my bag to where if I finish one snack, whoop, oh, here's something else. I'm not done eating. I'm going to eat for 3 solid hours all the way to Texas and then another 3 hours all the way to California. That's my strategy. Considering that I don't eat that much, it's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make it work. All right. So thank you again to Delia for helping with my notes for the show. I was off grid yesterday, so I will get the other notes up on the other shows. Make sure you go. Something just made me laugh. Hold on a second. Okay, make sure you go to the YouTube, to the show notes, and see what Delia has been doing, because she's been putting up the note. She's been like giving a synopsis of the things that I've been talking about. It's not always easy because I'm sometimes all over the place and I do one topic and then I come back. So she's not doing the time stamps because that would be difficult. She's just doing the basic rundown of the show so that if somebody is looking and some people write to me sometimes and they say, hey, what was that show when you did the thing? You talked about the thing. And I can't remember the show when I talked about the thing. And then I have to call Michelle and say, do you remember the show when I talked about the thing? Because she has like a mind like a steel trap, and she remembers the day, the date, the show, when it was in the show, and then within 5 minutes she sends it to me. But she's not always available. And so Delia has volunteered to do the notes so that when people ask me when it was that I talked about the thing, we can go and and find it. Now, somebody said stop at Buc-ee's in Texas. Is that in the airport? Because I'm just going to be in the airport. I'm not going into Dallas or Fort Worth. Uh, you're going to get on the plane skinny and gain 15 pounds during the flight. I rebuke you. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to sip on my tea. Um, uh, I, I don't think that's going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. But Buc-ee's is not in the airport. I can't, I can't do that. I only have an hour. My layover is 1 hour and 11 minutes. How fun is that? I think that's pretty cool. Okay. Let's see. What else? How are we doing in the chat here? I have a couple minutes. I rebuke the 15 pounds, Pat. That's not happening. Not when I'm on my way to California. I can't show up 15 pounds heavier. Now, let's see. Although I'll be lighter because I'll have all the crap that I'm carrying on the plane to eat, snack on, it'll be gone. Any other comments? Any other questions? Where are my Facebook people? Nobody from Facebook is commenting. Did I lose Facebook? Would it freak you out if the person next to you was coughing? No. Why? Only if they were like doing that weird, like phlegmy, gaggy cough and they wouldn't stop. It's mostly just a noise thing for me. I'm very sensitive. My hearing is sensitive. But if they were coughing and they were sick, I would be like, put on your mask. Am I landing in Long Beach? I think I'm landing in Long Beach. Is that right? I can't remember now. Like now they're taking my feed down again. Stop it. Stop it. I'm just being honest, you know? I mean, if somebody coughs, they cough, whatever. It's life. I don't accept that kind of stuff, the sickness, any of that. Yeah. Okay. It might be something to do with my program, my restream too. I have to figure out how to clear it. What do I have to do? Maybe I have to clear the browser. So much maintenance. Am I back? Okay. So I think this is a good time to sign off. Remember, info@marygracemedia.com. That's how you can buy superfoods. You can get your promo code. Don't just go and Google superfoods. You're going to end up with some crazy stuff like made in China that's not actually my superfoods. Just write to me, info@marygracemedia.com to get your promo code. And then I am not flying into LAX. I know better than that. Beware, Dallas connections are far apart. I think I knew that. I'm on the same airline though, so I think I'm probably going to be in the same terminal. Now, let's see. Squirrel. Oh, follow my channel. Follow my Facebook page, Mary Grace Media. Follow my Clout Hub, Mary Grace Media, channel 111. Subscribe on YouTube. That's the red button. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube and hit the bell. And on Facebook, share into groups and then what else? Invite your friends, tag your friends, send it in Messenger, etc., etc. Let's see. info@marygracemedia.com. Have a blessed weekend. Yeah, you guys have a blessed weekend too. And thank you to everybody that prayed for my trip to the DMV. It was so much better than it could have been. So much better. Oh, here's the only thing. We do need to pray about this. So the thing is, you don't actually walk away with a new license. They're going to mail it to you. Your license is in the mail. So we left with a piece of paper and the old license that said void for real. And the thing is, they'll have it in the system even if he gets stopped. But here's the thing, our mail lately has been problematic. That's an understatement. We have been having so many problems with the mail. I think I told you I had to tell the guy that when you deliver a package, you bring it actually to the door. Don't throw it in the middle of the driveway. Well, we're getting mail that we got. We're getting mail that's expired. You know, my dad likes coupons. We got coupons, but they were from last month. They came this week. He took them to the Kroger and they let him use it anyway. Um but that's what's going on here. So I don't know how long. I'm just gonna just pray, just pray because he needs his license, and they said it could come within a week. I don't know. We'll just see. But that's what they said. Here's your piece of paper. Yeah. So we need to make sure that the license actually comes and that the mail comes on time. So just keep that whole situation in your prayers. All right. I'm now on the blacklist of the post office. I don't know about that. I think the post office is just dysfunctional. That's a nice way of saying it. It's a hot mess. All right. I think that's it. This is the longest goodbye ever. I'll be back. I will be back on Monday at what time? I'll be back at 5:30 Eastern, right here on Mary Grace Media. So please share the show. Let your friends know that we were live. And if you like the content here, make sure you share it out with other people.